Hello students, I am Gnaneswara TN, Assistant Professor of English. In this session, I would like to introduce an essay titled Of Studies. This essay is written by Francis Bacon, father of English essay. Now, let us know what is an essay. Any short composition in prose that undertakes to discuss a matter, express a point of view, persuade us to accept a thesis on any subject, or simply entertain is called an essay. The word essay derives from the French infinitive essayer, meaning to try or to attempt. The Frenchman Michel de Montaigne was the first author to describe his work as essays. He used the term to characterize these as attempts to put his thoughts into writing. The Greeks, Theophrastus and Plutarch, and the Romans, Cicero and Seneca, wrote essays long before the genre was given what became its standard name by Montaigne's French essays in 1580. Francis Bacon, late in the 16th century, inaugurated the English use of the term in his own essays. Most of them are short discussions such as of truth, of adversity, of marriage and the single life, etc. Francis Bacon was the youngest son of Nicholas Bacon, who was the minister in the regime of Queen Elizabeth. Bacon enjoys a special status in English literature for having introduced the form of essay into English literature. He published the first edition of his essays in 1595. His essays contain practical and utilitarian wisdom. They are written in lucid, clear, and aphoristic style. He is considered as father of English essay. Francis Bacon, in his essay, gives an account of three chief uses of studies. The chief use of study lies in the delight of reading in privacy or seclusion and retirement in our leisure hours. Secondly, they serve for ornament in discourse, that is, debates, public speeches, and conversation. We will be able to impress people with the depth of our knowledge. The third use of studies is the ability or skill in practical business, for they help in disposition of business with right judgment. Expert men can successfully handle affairs while dealing with individual cases one after another. But men of profound scholarship and wide study can frame general principles of conduct, and thus learned men are best at marshalling of affairs. Studies, however, have their limitations. If too much time is spent at studies, it is nothing more than sloth or laziness or aversion to work. To make an excessive and needless display of learning is ornament or affectation, that is, an artificial, unnatural pretense. To make judgment solely by rules picked up from books, that is, the separation of studies from their practical use in solving problems arising out of actual life situations, is the humor of a scholar. Studies bring one's natural endowment to perfection through experience. Natural abilities or qualities have to be trained just as the careful gardener prunes off superfluous growths of plants in a cultivated garden. Theoretical knowledge acquired by study is too vague for use unless its application is limited or enriched by experience. The men who are hard workers hate or condemn studies. Simple men just admire studies because they are innocent. But the men who are wise use them practically. Studies do not teach their own use. It is the wisdom of a person that teaches him their usage. Wisdom is outside and beyond the books, which is gained by observation. Bacon is of the view that a man should not read to contradict and confute others. He should not believe and rely wholly on words. He should not read to find a point of discussion in conversation, but he should read to weigh them, their value, and use them. Bacon says some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. There are some books that are to be read only in parts. It is not worthy to read them word by word. On contrary, there are some books that are to be read not with curiosity, and some are to be read completely with attention and diligence because they require the full attention of the reader. There is another category, distilled books, that is, summaries like common distilled waters. These books are extracts made from other books. These are the meaner sort of books. Bacon says, reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. It is reading that adds to the knowledge of a man and makes him complete in a sense of his wit. Undoubtedly, it is conversation with others that makes a man ready for any sort of step to be taken practically. Furthermore, it is the writing that helps a man to obtain accuracy. He says if a man writes little than he needs, he should have a great memory to remember all the things. If a man interacts little, he needs to have a present and sharp wit. And if a man read little, he should be cunning to seem to know what he does not. Bacon says, histories make men wise, poets witty, the mathematics subtle, natural philosophy deep, moral grave, logic and rhetoric able to contend. History makes men wise, poetry is to foster wit, mathematics to acquire subtlety, natural philosophy makes men to think deep, moral philosophy makes them grave, logic and rhetoric foster the skill of debate and argument. He further says, studies pass into the character. He also says, studies are a cure for mental deficiency as physical exercises are designed to cure diseases, just as bowling is good for kidneys, shooting for the lungs and breast, walking for the digestion, and riding for the head. Like a man should study the mathematics if his wit is unable to focus at a point and it keeps wandering. If his wit is unable to find differences, he should study the schoolmen who were very keen on their hair splitting logical distinctions in debates. If one illustrates one thing to prove another, he should study the lawyer's cases. So, there is a remedy for every defect of the mind. If we consider the style of the essay, all through the length of the essay, there is a persistent air of high seriousness and cold objectivity. Macaulay says it will hardly be disputed that this is a passage to be chewed and digested. We do not believe that Thucydides himself has anywhere compressed so much thought into so small a space. Unquote. Each sentence of this essay contains matter for a paragraph of an ordinary writer. Now, let us examine the figures of speech used in this essay. We see three instances of simile in this essay. For example, for natural abilities are like natural plants that need pruning by study. Second example is else distilled books are like common distilled waters, flashy things. The third example is nay, there is no stand or impediment in the wit, but may be wrought out by fit studies, like as diseases of the body may have appropriate exercises. Bowling is good for the stone and reins, shooting for the lungs and breast, gentle walking for the stomach, riding for the head, and the like. Bacon has used metaphor also. For example, some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. In this sentence, Bacon has compared books to the eatables that can be tasted, swallowed, or chewed. We see two oft quoted quotations in this essay. The first one is some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. The second quotation is reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Have a nice day.